All right, welcome to Guarantee News. Today, you clicked on the episode, you know what it's about. Oh, let me introduce myself. Of course, I am Garrett. If you're watching, thank you. Please subscribe to GS Studios at GSTEWDIOS. As usual, like this video, go in the comments, tell me where I'm right or wrong. This is about Gavin Newsom, how I think he's been covering, or how I think he's been not covering. That's my job. I'm the journalist. Gavin Newsom and how I think he's been handling the protest riots in LA. And it's going to go into like a conversation that I've had on this channel a couple of times. So go and look through my videos. I can probably find one really quickly about, our AOC and Bernie Sanders, what Democrats need right now. There's another video. It got a lot of views. I think maybe I should be talking about this more. Democrats still out of touch. This is something that I've covered on this channel a lot, and I will continue to cover. And that is the Democrats. Their messaging, what are they doing right, what are they doing wrong, and what Democrat is going to be the one to, in a couple of years, when we have the midterms, there's going to be a head. And then in 4 more years, who's going to be maybe the Democrat that's going to try to beat this MAGA wave that's going on right now, right? And everything with that, because it's interesting to me. This episode is going to be Gavin Newsom. This might be what is going on in LA part 4. We've had part 1, 2, and 3. So if you haven't watched those, watch those. But it's really just me, this series, covering immigration, what's going on in Los Angeles, and kind of the greater implications of how it's affecting the rest of the country, right? Because we have the No Kings protests that were going on everywhere. So definitely watch part 1, part 2, part 3. I'm covering different things. This episode specifically is Gavin Newsom. And again, his handling of the riots, protests, however you want to name them, going on in LA, and how he's going against Trump, and if it's a way that makes sense and is going to be profitable, for lack of a better term, for the Democratic Party, or positive for the Democratic Party, getting just basically mainstream attention back and not just seeming out of touch, corny, and too to the left, right? Is Gavin Newsom operating in a way that's doing that for the Democratic Party? And I've said on this channel multiple times, and let me put this on Gavin. Let me put something like, let's go to his Twitter. This is going to be, I guess, like a major part of this. That's my real Twitter. That's a lot of things that I'm showing that I don't want to show. My bad. Let me see something with that, actually. Because we might have to, hold on. Let me see something with that. All right. I'm not gonna lie, I'd be in DMs. If one of my DMs was right there, I would have had to start the video over. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Yeah, if you wanna, that's as real as that was. But yeah, no DMs lately. You're always trying to stop sliding in DM. Let me not get on a diatribe. That's what the stream is for. All right, so to Gavin Newsom. I got off topic there and got myself back on topic really quickly. I'm getting better at filming. I feel like, if you guys haven't noticed, like my comfortability on camera, how easily I move through my topics. I'm trying to get better at like doing that and fleshing through and trying to make the episodes quicker and more to the point. I'm getting off on another diatribe again. So let me stop. But I've said on this channel, right, multiple times, the Democrat that is going to be the new big thing, or that is going to be able to go against MAGA, is going to be able to have Americans want to vote for them and not feel like they're too, like I say, like they're too liberal, they're too judgmental, they're too on that side, and we just can't go for that. Like the Democrat that's going to be able to do that and put Democrats back at the top is not around right now. And I still don't think he or she is around right now, even after the popularity that Gavin Newsom has had and how he's been pushed into like the political forefront based on what's going on right now with Los Angeles, Trump sending in the National Guard, Gavin Newsom suing Trump, like all of these things. He's gotten a lot of attention, Gavin Newsom, and I don't think what he's done, and I don't think the attention he's got has made me feel like he is any more probable to be the person that's going to be running for president for the Democratic Party in 2028. And I'll even say it now, as I cover politics more, and I'm always thinking, what do I need to talk about on Guarantee News? Oh, should I just talk about sports? Should I talk about movies? Should I talk about politics? Like, what matters to me, but what's going to also make people want to watch? And politics is interesting to me because of just the interconnectivity of how Democrats and Republicans seem to be, how they seem to always be lying to us, how disorganized they all seem to be, how maybe dumb a lot of Americans could be. It interests me because of how crazy it is, not because I like believe in it or care about the work the way I am interested in journalism and like research and interviewing people smarter than me, right? That I believe in and think matters and should be done, and that's why I'm interested in it. Politics I'm interested in because of how crazy it is, and I don't believe in politics anymore. I don't believe in Democrats or Republicans. I really think both of them are working together, and we are all in a big psychological operation where they're just tricking us and getting money and all this thing. I'm getting more convinced of this the more that I look into these things, right? But Gavin Newsom, his problem with me, and I will say, I'm going to talk on here how he's handled this, how he's handled everything in Los Angeles politically, and how he's handled it in reality. And I'll get into what those two things are. The political side kind of worries me. And I think the problem that I have with Gavin Newsom, I was trying to put my finger on it when I was making this episode, is he seems a tad bit disingenuous to me. And as a politician, I know that is a thing where, like, you're lying to people. You're not always telling the truth. You're doing this. You're supposed to seem like this great person when you may not be. Like, that's part of the politician, of like the theme of politicians, right? But if you're disingenuous as a politician, I don't think you should seem that way, or I should be seeing the cover. And you know who Gavin Newsom reminds me of? When I just see, like, the way he talks, the hair, everything. He reminds me of Tommy Carcetti from The Wire. If you haven't seen The Wire, go watch it. One of the best shows of all time. He is a politician in Baltimore. And I'm not going to say, if you haven't seen The Wire, that's going to go over your head. I'm not going to say anything more than that. But that's, if I could put it into words, that's who Gavin Newsom reminds me of a little bit. And I don't want to get into too much of this. No disrespect to Gavin Newsom. You know, I'd love to interview him one day, because I say on Gavin News, I want to interview everyone because I want to give everyone a voice. So no disrespect to Gavin Newsom. But that's kind of just who he reminds me of, to give you an idea. But I will say the way that he's handled this is one of the best that I've seen of any politician. Going against Trump, going against Trump's policies. So I will give him credit for that. And that's what I'm going to start in with this, where how he's handling LA in reality, right? Suing the Trump administration. Putting your political ass, for lack of a better term, on the line to say, this isn't right and I believe in it. Not only am I going to put a show out for people on social media, but I'm also going to sue Trump. I'm also going to do things with my political power as governor to go against him. I appreciate that. We'll continue to cover that, like, lawsuit on this channel. He sued Trump for using the National Guard for federally inputting the National Guard in Los Angeles. A lower court said, yeah, Trump was wrong for doing that. Then Trump appealed, and that appeals court said, well, Trump might have had a right to do that, so we're going to put the National Guard back in, and then we're going to look into it for a little bit more time. That's how court is. Appeal, blah, blah, years. So that's another thing I've noticed, is when you put something in court, it takes so long that you can almost get uninterested in it. And I want to say uninterested because the news stops talking about it in a week, but we'll continue to cover that to see what happens, because the judicial system and the continuous war of Trump on immigration and everything is always interesting. But the fact that he sued Trump and actually put it in paperwork and put the paperwork out for people to see, he posted it everywhere. You see it here. I appreciate that, right? And then another thing I appreciate with what he's doing realistically that actually makes a difference and actually matters and actually tries to go against Trump in a meaningful way is putting a lot of straight to the point social media posts and speeches on X and TikTok that in this world, I do think it's very important. And a good example is his speech like a week ago. I'm going to dig through it. He had dig through his Twitter for it. He had like a speech a week or so ago. Actually, it was exactly 7 days ago. It was on June. Let me see. It was, and this is him posting. We're getting into some of the posts he does that I don't like because I don't like some of the ways he uses social media. Let me look at a calendar because when I was doing my research, he did this last Tuesday on June 10th. He put out a speech that I think was really good. Really, really good. Right to the point. Talked about information about what Trump is doing in Los Angeles and immigration, how he's inflaming this situation to get more political backing, and how he's putting he's going about immigration wrong. And this is an 8-minute 40-second video that I think you should watch. Full address: Governor Newsom addresses Californians in response to President Trump's assault on democracy and the president's illegal militarization of Los Angeles. There's a right way to use social media in 2025 as a politician to get your opinions out there, and there's a wrong way, a corny way, a weird way, right? In a way that Democrats do a lot. And this is a version of doing it the right way. I like this. So the social media information, the going at the Trump administration through the court of law, those are the real reality ways using your power as a politician to go against Trump that I enjoy, right? That I appreciate. Now, on the other side of that, Gavin Newsom's handling of it politically And when I say politically, I just mean you're trying to make yourself look good at all times. You want your constituents, the people that live in LA. You want the American people, because he's obviously going to run for president. You want people to believe in you, think that you're good, think that you're personable, think that you're strong, all those things. The public view of you, right? Which has always mattered as a politician, but matters even more in the world we live in today, right? That's what I mean when I say the way that he's handling this politically. Because the political way is you want votes, you want donors, you want all that shit, right? With politicians, especially major politicians, for governors, president, senators, right? You care politically how you're viewed. And the way that he's handled this politically, I think is a little... what's the word I want to use? The TikToks, the social media jokes. He posts a lot of TikToks, a lot of social media jokes. He does a lot of back and forth with Trump, using liberal and far left political rhetoric that I don't think is good at getting the entire country together, and it just inflames the other side and gives them more fire to go back at you. And I've said this on the channel a million times, like he's trying to stand against Trump with facts and all these things that I like, which is the realistic side, but he's also heavily trying to go back in Trump with insults, Twitter, back and forth, the truth social, Trump is this and that, he's a child, like all of these things, and Trump is too good at this. He's too good at that. I've said this on this channel a million times. The way for Democrats to go against Trump is not by trying to go into the mud with him and go back and forth with him and do these marketing public gimmicks, because the Democrats don't have anyone good at doing it as Trump. And I know you might want to say, oh, Garrett, Trump does it. That's how he became president. Why are you mad at, like, why aren't you talking about Trump doing it and not mad at Gavin Newsom doing it? Let's be honest. It's effed up when Trump does it, but Trump does it better than anybody else. When you read his tweets, a part of me is like, has to laugh because it is funny. He is a great marketer, and then the other part of me has to pull myself back and say, this is the president, this is really weird, this is not right, this is childish, this is bad for America. Because I do believe that, how childish and how he seems to go so back and forth and be so ready to be like a marketing genius. But he is a marketing genius. He is able to tap into people's emotions, negative, positive, angry, whatever it is, and just present things in a way where you're like, you know what? Yeah, maybe he is right. He's good at doing that when you're listening to him. He just is, whether you want to believe it or not. And the Democrats don't have anyone good enough to do that. And when they try to do it, it doesn't work. And then Trump is able to get more fuel to just put his base to the top. And that's truly what I believe. Like Gavin Newsom, when he's doing it, like, I don't know, like the slick back hair, it's just something about like with him doing it, it's just, and every Democrat that tries to do it has their reasoning for why it just doesn't come across. It doesn't work the way it does for Trump. So I don't think that he should go about it doing that way. That is my, I guess, thing. Is if you look through his Twitter, if you look through his TikTok, and you'll know what I'm talking about with those childish insults, far left liberal political rhetoric that only those that far left liberals, like even people in the middle of Democrats or may think themselves more left leaning, a lot of times don't react in the way that I think Gavin Newsom thinks they may to those strategies. And I think it's also clear to me that, and I've said this on the channel before too, that this is needed. Gavin Newsom's like people running his social media or running his whatever, I would say 20 to 25 years old, far left leaning liberals. And you need those now. You need that age range, but I think you need someone that's more to the middle and a little bit more like, if you're gonna, I always talk about on this channel, who are the people that these people listening to? Who is Trump listening to when he says these things? And it seems like maybe no one. Who is Gavin Newsom? Who is AOC? Who is Bernie Sanders? Who is Pete Buttigieg? I like Pete Buttigieg a lot. I've said that. He grows on me more. He just seems like he might be a little bit too vanilla. Like, I know I'm saying left, right. I could talk about this for hours, but I think my point is Democrats really seem to be cooked. I don't know. There's still not anyone that I believe in. And I'd say Gavin Newsom, I think, you know, I think Gavin Newsom, you should stay away maybe from the jokes and trying to get into the mud. Keep the, probably, in my opinion, I could be wrong again, I always say, what do I know? Keep the far left liberal 20 to 25 to 28 year olds, and I think you have. doing your social media and stuff, and maybe get some more to the middle ones too to balance that out, because it does seem kind of too, I don't know. I don't know. I know there's a lot I don't know. Maybe this episode I don't seem sure, but there's just Gavin Newsom. I just am not feeling him. You know what I'm saying? Pause. And I will end with this. I will say though, this is what people have been asking for when everyone was saying in the beginning of this administration and today, where are the governors? Where are the Congress people? Which are senators, House of Representative people? Where are the people in power going against Trump? Why are they all so scary? We can't have no time for scary politicians. And there's definitely been politicians that are in place right now that don't agree with Trump and don't say anything because they know Trump will go at you full force with the Truth Social post and the rhetoric. And then he will try to go at you to make sure that you are not in your position of power. He will do everything he can. So people are scared of that. But you're a politician. You're for the people. So there's no place for that. And Gavin Newsom has shown that he's definitely not scared to go against Trump publicly and politically, realistically, and all those different facets. He is the first politician that I've seen do so across the board, where it's in his social media posts and the way he's talking on interviews and every podcast, but he's also putting his political power, his political neck on the line to go against Trump. He's one of the first I've seen do that, so I do appreciate that. This is just a conversation on, is this guy the guy that's going to be the next president of the United States, or try to be for the Democratic Party? And he is going to try to be. That is a fact. That's what he's gearing up for, and that's what this conversation is about. And I really don't think it's him. Stop me if I'm wrong, if you're a Democrat, if you think it's him, but I don't think it's him. I don't. And it could become him. There's a lot of time. And this is why I'm going to cover this on this channel repeatedly. But yeah, I appreciate what he's doing, but Democrats, I still think for the most part are cooked, bro. It's just, they're cooked as of now in their ability to go against Trump and the MAGA rhetoric that just floods the country right now. And just the outright kind of not comfortability I think a lot of people have with far left leaning liberals' tendency to be too far on their end and very judgmental and treat you like you're stupid if you're not on there. And I've talked about this on the channel before. I don't think there's anything that they've done better to get to there, and I don't think there's anything that I can see down the line that's happening. Their best bet is Trump continuing to fuck up and do crazy ass shit. All right. That is Guaranteed News. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. As always, if you're watching towards now, you watch the whole episode. I really do appreciate that. Please tell me what I need to talk about. If you're watching right now, 17 and 23 minutes in, you care about what I'm saying. You think I might have to be somewhat good, and I am really appreciative of that. And I'd be really more appreciative if you send me articles, send me news, tell me what I need to be talking about on this channel, on my TikTok, on my YouTube, on my Instagram. What do I need to be giving attention to on Guaranteed News? All right, that's a wrap for that. Thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day.